Have you ever just stopped to think about what's actually getting into your body when you grab a drink from a plastic bottle or, eat from a can or even just grab that receipt at the grocery store? There's this invisible reality surrounding almost all of us, literally every single day. A chemical that acts as a total biological imposter, just slipping right past our body's defenses to rewire our cellular software. It's called bisphenol A, or BPA. Okay, let's dive into this and uncover exactly how this plastic chemical hacks our biology and, way more importantly, how we can fight back. Welcome to this explainer.
All right, so here's our roadmap for today. We're going to look at the plastic imposter everywhere, hijacking hormones and fertility, rewiring our cellular DNA, flushing it out fast, and finally, protective foods and polyphenols. And don't worry, after we get through the heavy cellular biology stuff, I promise we're going to guide you right towards some fast, super actionable lifestyle and dietary solutions to just clear this stuff out.
So, let's start with Section 1, the plastic imposter everywhere, focusing on BPA's ubiquity. Think about this for a second. What do your flimsy, thermal grocery receipt and the rigid plastic tubing inside your coffee maker actually have in common? I know, it kind of sounds like the setup to a bad joke, right? But the answer is actually incredibly important. Both of these are major sources of bisphenol A. See, BPA isn't just in those clear water bottles. It's used to harden polycarbonate plastics, line the insides of metal food cans, and even coat the thermal paper your receipts are printed on. It's literally hidden in plain sight.
And because it's so well hidden, the exposure rates are just staggering. Research, like the data from the Silent Spring Institute, has found BPA in at least 90% of Americans. I mean, let that sink in for a moment. 90%. That means 9 out of 10 people checking out this explainer right now have detectable levels of this chemical circulating in their systems. It's basically unavoidable in the modern world. But, why exactly does this matter?
Now, what's really interesting about this is the mechanism behind this chemical. It's what makes it so invasive. BPA belongs to this class of substances known as endocrine-disrupting chemicals, or EDCs. Think of BPA as a master of disguise. Once it gets into your body, whether you ingest it or it absorbs right through your skin, it actually mimics your natural hormones. Specifically, it acts as a xenoestrogen, so it binds to your body's estrogen receptors, totally tricking your cells into responding to a signal your body never actually sent.
Which brings us to Section 2, hijacking hormones and fertility, looking at the organ system impact.
Under normal circumstances, healthy hormonal function relies on this perfectly balanced loop. It's called the hypothalamic pituitary gonadal, or HPG axis. It's a super delicate communication network. But when BPA enters the chat, it aggressively disrupts this entire axis. In males, for example, it suppresses testosterone by literally shutting down the enzymes needed to produce it. So it provides this feminizing hormonal phenotype and just throws the whole system into a massive state of oxidative stress.
And the real-world consequences of this hormonal hijacking are incredibly severe for our somatic cells. Those are the standard cells making up our organs and tissues. Epidemiological and clinical data directly link BPA to polycystic ovary syndrome, or PCOS, and endometriosis in women. And for men, the impacts are profound. We're talking reduced sperm quality and motility, plus dysfunction of the Sertoli cells, which are basically the nurse cells that support sperm development. BPA even triggers an overload of reactive oxygen species, or ROS, which literally damages and breaks down the lipid membranes of the sperm cells themselves.
Let's peel back another layer for Section 3, rewiring our cellular DNA at the microscopic level.
This is where the science gets truly wild. BPA doesn't just mess with our hormones, it actually alters our epigenetics. So think of your DNA sequence like your computer's hardware. BPA doesn't change that, but instead, it acts like a malicious hacker altering the software. It changes how your genes are expressed through processes like DNA methylation. Basically, it attaches these little chemical tags to your DNA, causing your cells to read the completely wrong instructions.
Let's move to and see how this builds, because this is crucial. Since BPA alters the epigenetic markers on our sperm and egg cells, the germ cells, right, not the somatic cells we just talked about, those software hacks can actually be inherited. Scientists call this transgenerational epigenetic inheritance. If a parent, the F0 generation, is exposed, those epigenetic alterations can be passed down to the F1 embryos and, remarkably, even to the F2 and F3 future generations. A father's exposure to BPA can rewrite his paternal germline, meaning he could pass down fertility defects to kids who were never even directly exposed themselves.
Okay, let's take a collective breath, pivoting to Section 4, flushing it out fast.
time for some empowering solutions.
I know all that cellular biology stuff sounds super heavy, but here's the really good news. Our bodies are incredibly resilient. Let's focus on how we actually flush this imposter out of our systems. Think about this massive number, 66%. There was this amazing dietary intervention study with 20 San Francisco residents, and they found that participants saw a 66% drop in their urinary BPA levels in just 3 days. How? Literally just by switching to a diet of fresh, organic, unpackaged food.
Julia G. Brody from the Silent Spring Institute put it perfectly when she said, "This study provides clear evidence that food packaging is a major driver of our exposure." But the brilliant takeaway from this quote, and the data itself, is that BPA does not stay in your body forever. Because it has a relatively short biological half-life, if you just change what you put into your body, you can rapidly clear this chemical right out of your system.
So, the crucial point is implementing these 5 actionable steps to just purge these EDCs from your daily routine. Number 1, fresh is best. Try to ditch the canned foods where BPA lines the aluminum and go for fresh or frozen instead. Number 2, eat in. Restaurant meals are highly correlated with higher BPA levels simply because of all that commercial packaging. Number 3, store it safe. Swap out that plastic Tupperware for glass or stainless steel, especially for acidic or fatty foods, because those literally pull the chemicals right out of the plastic. Number 4, never ever microwave in plastic. Heat accelerates that leaching process immensely. And number 5, brew the old-fashioned way. Maybe swap out that automatic plastic coffee maker for a nice glass French press.
And finally, Section 5, Protective Foods and Polyphenols, our dietary defense.
Beyond just avoiding plastics, science shows us that we can actually fight back with our diets. And this brilliantly illustrates the healing power of natural polyphenols against BPA toxicity in our somatic cells. Take resveratrol, for instance. You find that in grapes. It's been shown to reduce oxidative liver damage and actually improve the insulin signaling that BPA disrupts. Then you've got curcumin from turmeric, which actively decreases inflammatory cell infiltration. Silymarin, which comes from milk thistle, counteracts BPA-induced liver inflammation right down at the ultrastructural level. And quercetin prevents liver enlargement. By integrating these specific, targeted foods into our diets, we're giving our cells the exact biochemical tools they need to repair EDC damage.
We've seen how deeply this plastic imposter can penetrate our biology, mimicking our hormones and even rewriting our inherited epigenetic software. But we've also seen just how fast our bodies can bounce back. So I want to leave you with this. If a simple 3-day diet change can flush out 66% of this chemical, what could a lifetime of mindful, plastic-free choices do? Not just for your health today, but for the health of your future generations. It's entirely in your hands. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep learning, keep questioning, and start making those mindful choices today.